So I fibbed just a little bit yesterday. Okay, I didn't fib, but I gave you one part of the story, and we really need to talk about the other part of the story, which is MI when it comes to government loans. So yesterday I told you that your credit score and your down payment amount really affect the private mortgage insurance when you're buying a home with conventional financing. So let's jump into the government end of this, which is your FHA or your USDA type financing. So those loans do require MI, with the exception of VA. By the way, the beautiful thing about a VA eligibility, that benefit, is that it does not have mortgage insurance. That's a win. But unless you qualify for VA, you might be looking at FHA or USDA, which they do require mortgage insurance. USDA being the cheapest. They are at a 0.0035. So you take your loan amount times 0.0035, divide that by 12, and that's your MI rate. It's a lot of math, but basically it is the cheaper of the two options. However, USDA has a lot of restrictions. Remember, it's income limit based, so you can't make too much money and do a USDA loan. Also, it's got to be in a rural area, so a little bit more strict on that USDA guideline. They also have tighter regulations when it comes to your debt ratio and things like that. But the MI rate for USDA and FHA are not affected by credit score or debt ratio or any of those things. They're not even affected. Well, okay, USDA is not affected even if you put down 20%. Here's the crazy thing. USDA, that MI factor is going to be on your loan for the life of the USDA loan. Now, FHA is complicated. Follow me for a moment. If you're using FHA in its most traditional form, putting 3.5% down, then your MI factor will be, for the life of the loan, the same 0.55 as what it is as of today, MI factor for the life. So remember, the USDA is 0.35, FHA is going to be 0.55, so slightly higher, a little bit more expensive than the USDA, not tons, but a little bit more. And like USDA, it does not matter what your credit score is. It does not matter what your down payment is unless you put 10% down. Now, if you put 10% down on an FHA loan, remember I said if you put 3.5%, that MI factor is going to be for the life of the loan, right? Does not matter. Your MI factor will stay the same until you refinance it or sell the house. But if you put 10% down, that MI is not for the life of the loan. It does eventually fall off. Now, it takes some time, but eventually it will come off of your FHA loan. So if you put down 10%, it does make a difference. Now, credit score still doesn't matter, but down payment can matter. So pay attention to that. If you've got an FHA possible loan and you maybe have 8 or 9%, you're thinking about putting that extra 1% down, talk to your lender. We might say, yeah, that's a really good idea. Do that. It'll save you in the long run. So unlike conventional loans where they have PMI, private mortgage insurance, the MI that is paid on your government loans is actually collected by the government. So it is not sold to another company. There's not different prices from different companies. It's a set fee across the board, same on every single loan until they change it for everybody going forward. There have been changes, mostly reductions, which is great, but there have been changes over the years. And when they reduce that, it's for every loan going forward that has it. Not on the backwards one, you can't go backwards unless you refinance. But on any new loan going forward, sometimes they do reduce those numbers. So PMI is on your conventional loans, Fannie, Freddie, conventional. MI on government loans like FHA and USDA, your credit score does not change the amount that you have to pay. Down payment does a little bit on FHA in some situations, but it is the same for every single borrower and it's paid directly to the government. That is a big difference. If you are a real estate agent or lender, someone in the real estate community that would like to make this content on your own social platform, please do. And remember, rechargingwithchampions.com, go to the members area, look under scripts, and you will see the scripts for all of the YouTube videos that I have made so that you can make the same information on your own page. Go put it in your voice. Be the guru. Be the person that your sphere hears from when it comes to important information about buying and selling and their credit, all the fun things on your social media page. We'll see you next time.